Are you guys ready to graduate?
I don't know. I regret a lot from this year.
Kelso's my favorite part.
Yeah, this year kind of sucked, but English was my favorite part.
Donna, I completely agree. I just wish for the definition essay it was my favorite assignment, but I wish I would have had more time to prepare and plan for it so that way it would have been a little bit better. You know what I mean?
Quit being such a suck up, Eric. We all know you love Donna.
No, he has a good point. I mean, we could have probably done better on some of the assignments this year. My issue analysis was more of an issue than an analysis.
Oh, honey, I really like the expository paper.
Oh, I hated that one. I waited until the day before to write it. I was writing it the day of.
You know, I remember writing the expository paper just like it was yesterday. Michael, how should I start my paper?
I don't know.
For me, I had a hard time with my expository paper because I had multiple ideas I struggled to choose from. Which idea do you like best, Michael? Michael! For me, the hardest part of my expository paper was having the motivation to actually start it. I had a very difficult time trying to separate myself from any distractions. This hindered me from being able to take the time necessary in writing the body of the paper in time for proper revisions.
I can relate to that a lot because I also didn't have time for revision on the same paper. I was very distracted the whole time.
Hey, Kelso.
I had a hard time getting my paper started because I procrastinated writing this paper. I didn't give myself a lot of time to work on it, so revising was something that I pushed off to the side, which I know I should not have done. I was working on it until the last minute, causing the final result to be less than perfect.
In the future, we both know to start planning earlier and pace and transition ourselves throughout the different stages of writing the paper.
We know that for in the future, when we are in college, how much time to spend on one thing and how to prepare ourselves for the final result of our papers.
Oh, is that how it went?
Yeah, well, I got my issue analysis turned in on time, but it was a lot harder than I thought it would be. I mean, 3 pages? My favorite assignment by far was the issue analysis. However, as I mentioned before, it was more of an issue than an analysis. The first thing I struggled with in the assignment was choosing a topic. I ended up choosing DACA, which is an American immigration policy that got started by Obama. I was very passionate about this topic, and it wasn't hard for me to find sources. I found a ton of reliable facts to put in my issue analysis, but my big problem was how to separate my opinion from the actual facts. I was trying to be unbiased as possible, but it was hard because of my political views. I had to separate my love for Joe Biden from my entire paper. This delayed my progress on the paper, but eventually I was able to write a great, unbiased paper on time. If I could go back, I would have picked a topic I was less passionate about so I could keep an unbiased opinion while writing my paper. Although I struggled a lot, and it wasn't an easy thing to write, I'm very proud of what I got to turn into Mrs. Bauer, and it was all fun in the end. Well, at least I got it done.
Well, I forgot about the speech part of my persuasive speech, so I just kind of started persuading.
In the process of developing my persuasive speech, I had a hard time picking relevant facts and topics. My ideas didn't flow together, and I was getting sidetracked. At one point, I was even creating my own distractions, hoping some good ideas would miraculously pop in my head.
Hey, Kelso.
Needless to say, this didn't help at all. I decided the best thing to do was keep coming up with ideas and scrap the ones that weren't working as I wrote them. This was definitely a messy way to do things, but I thought it would work. Of course I was wrong. I should have kept all my written ideas in front of me so I knew what I was working with at the time. But I know I wasn't thoroughly thinking things through in that moment because the only thing on my mind was the Led Zeppelin concert I wanted to go to later.
Yeah, Mrs. Bauer, I don't think liked my speech part, mainly because there wasn't one.
The definition essay? Kind of forgot to define the word, so I went on this whole essay about this word, but nobody knew the definition. My favorite assignment was the definition essay, and I was so excited I just couldn't wait to jump in. I was convinced this is going to be my best assignment yet. My creative juices were flowing. I did all of my research and found tons of inspiration. However, when it was time to write my paper, I realized I was low on time. It was because I spent too much time looking for inspiration and trying to be creative instead of focusing on the actual assignment. I was reading my essay and I was very frustrated because it wasn't what I wanted because I was so low on time. On the morning the paper was due, I was zooming to get this paper done, and I took the product and ran to school to turn it in. I didn't even have time to look over it, I just turned it in. I finally read over what I had turned in and I was so disappointed. I decided from this point on I was going to use better time management for future assignments so I can come up with a product I will be proud of. I hope I never have to endure that kind of stress again. Reflection is an important part of continuing to grow as a learner.
Yeah, reflecting is a very important part of learning. And reflecting on this past year now helped me realize what I really need to work on and actually pay attention to during the school year.
Yeah, this has been my favorite English class I've ever taken, and I feel like it's prepared me more than any other one as well.
Yeah, I really liked taking this class, and I feel like it prepared me to know when I'm procrastinating, and then I can recognize it and not do that, because that's not good.
Yeah, I mean, it's true. Before this class started, I didn't know what a rhetorical situation, citing my sources, APA, MLA. I still don't know some stuff, but it prepared me a lot. I mean, these are life skills, people.
This year in English, I learned how to organize my ideas and pick which ones actually make a good point and I can use in my writing.
I learned the importance of time management and how it is really going to help me in my future.
I learned how to be unbiased and keep my opinion out of things when things are supposed to be factual.
I learned not to wait until the last minute to even start my paper.
I learned to prepare earlier and pace my work when writing.
Goodbye, Mrs. Bauer! Good luck! I love that.
That's so awful.
Oh my God.